Bienvenidos amigas y amigos, it's your boy Darzus, and I recently got surgery, so please appreciate this basically unedited video. Bear with me, I just can't really be at the desk editing all day, and yeah. I want to talk about this chapter still. The Undead Unluck anime is coming out at the end of the week. I want to watch that with y'all. If you have any suggestions about how and where I can do that, whether it's smart to do it on the channel, I should take it up on Discord maybe, or even on Twitch, just let a brother know. Just need some advice on that whole operation. But chapter 177, y'all, special. Absolutely amazing. One that I just want to speak a bit candidly on, because as I said, I can't edit a video and do cool stuff on screen to take away from the words that I'm not saying. I'm going to go in depth about my thoughts about how "let's get started" truly embodies that phrase. Loop 2 is just beginning, y'all, and I really love Yoshifumi Gotsuka. I feel like he's woken out of his slumber. I need to awake out of my slumber. The Undead Unluck anime is coming this week. It's grind mode for all of us, included. Let's get it, y'all. Obviously, we were blessed with 2 color pages, and I really enjoyed both of them. The double spread was really dope. We get a look at a lot of different scenes from the anime that we'll get to see this season. Every single thing that I think we'll get to see in Core 1, including a little Easter egg. You'll see that Bunny and Sean are there, and right next to that it says,
"It don't cost nothing to show it."
like, comment, and subscribe. Who would have ever thought that? Got that ass. But the more important of the 2 color pages was the one on the master rules. We finally have gotten a general explanation of what these ideas are. They're a set of rules chosen after one Lucis Ragnarok that will never disappear. All 101 master rules possess absolute power. However, the 10 added initially are the strongest ones. This time around, Galaxy was added, and I'm excited to learn more about what other ones were added. It's really cool to see this being the idea behind a master rule, because we've seen Umas before be neutralized and nothing happened. Ideas such as gravity or slice or even magma back during Ragnarok. All ideas which were basically expunged from the earth but were still there. It makes sense that in previous loops these were imposed on the earth as master rules, ideas which will never go away. And those 9 other master rules, other than 10, that are amongst the top 10 ones, because sick is number 10. Fuko had already said that in a past chapter, and as we get to see on his chest, that X literally denotes the Roman numeral for number 10. Who are the other 9 ones? I think people always talk about really strong, really terrifying ideas of Umas, such as, there's the antithesis of undead. Dead, the Uma. I think the Death Uma would have to be one of those top 10 master rules, an idea which God imposed upon the earth and made sure that no matter what happens, even if you were able to neutralize this Uma in a current loop, you'll never get rid of this rule. I think, maybe love, maybe hate, ideas which a jealous God which have to impose upon the earth to make sure that humans have to live in some sort of anguish. If you want to see that video where I talk about potential other 9 ones other than sick, this badass motherfricker who's wicked sick, let me know. No lie though, since I can't really edit, I'm going to skip through talking about some of the smaller character interactions between Rip, Layla, and Latla. I'm going to talk more candidly, more collected about that in a video at the end of this arc. However, I'm really just waiting to see what happens. I think, as I've continued to say, I would really enjoy for Rip and Latla to be the ones who love each other. I think Rip and Latla, even though he loves Layla, it just makes sense. From the last loop it makes sense. I don't know if it really makes sense this loop since he's literally engaged to another woman, but I would just love to see him flip-flop horses and jump onto another one. Doesn't make much sense. But if you think about it in this light, Uma's sick, a master rule, a rule which cannot be expunged from the earth. Will neutralizing him or capturing him in any respect take away from the effects which are being imposed by him? So a lot of people are not being affected by this, such as, Rip or Latla, but almost everybody in the hospital that we see is. Different patients are being affected by this, different doctors are being affected by this already, so it would be interesting to see, after Uma sick is, defeated, will the side effects that people are facing actually go away? Is this disease which Layla has imposed on by Uma sick? Or is it something which she inherently has, which is kind of being exacerbated by this Uma? We'll have to see during this entire arc, and I'm really, in a maniacal way, excited or hoping to see Layla doesn't get to go on with us. I don't know. But Uma Sick gets introduced to us in its Phase 2 form already, and this is one of the most badass mother truckers we have seen in Undead Unluck. It is belt buckled up as you see with any good shonen character in the year 2023, whether it be Rex in Xenoblade Future Redeemed, Boruto, his new design's got buckles all over him. You need belts to be a menacing dude, and Uma Sick is as menacing as it gets. I love that with the name Uma Sick, he kind of has a design which would best be described by Andy's catchphrase, wicked sick. He's even got that sort of maniacal, jackal-like freaking smile that you always see Yoshifumi attribute to sort of screw-loose characters, and Uma Sick definitely has a screw-loose. His sort of ideology is one that we see very often in anime and manga. It's one of the ones that, like, Demon Slayer villains all have. The idea that, like, humans, you guys are all weak. Why do you even try to achieve better things than what you already are afforded by being alive? You guys aren't supposed to live past 100 years. Why do you use healthcare then? Why do you try to fight illnesses? All it's going to do is bring you sadness and misery. Let me put you out of your misery by murdering you. The classic freaking batshit crazy godlike entity ephemeral being ideology. But it works with a guy like this, especially during Rip's arc. A guy who is trying to repair people, a guy who is literally a doctor going up against the embodiment of sickness, this thing which through literally loops, not I was about to say through his childhood, but through every single loop, he's been trying to track down and slice up the god who is imposing illnesses on people, the entity, this literal embodiment of sickness, which is imposing illness on people. Badass to see. I like this sort of battle between literal, like, the antithesis of each other. I was really impressed to see Fuko have the conviction to square off against Uma Sick all alone. You see that this thing was already in its Phase 2, as I've said, and it's a hard-boiled guy. Even Fuko knows that, and like being a real-ass fool, Uma Sick tells her herself, you probably shouldn't fight me alone. The only person who I could see doing that, being the number one in the union, was our girl Unjustice. A very interesting nod to throw out, being Uma Sick, because hey, Juice, you literally mentioned sick if you look back on that first speech that Juice gives about rules which were added to the earth. Maybe those were all the master rules. Sex, race, oh my god. You see, this is what happens whenever I make a video where I'm literally just talking. I think of things while I'm making the video because I'm not trying to think of things. That's crazy. I'll try to put that on screen. All of those initial rules, which she says, like, what? Not language, I guess, race, sex, all those sort of stuff. Dang, some of those things. Fuck. But our girl Julius, one of the strongest negators around, one of those negators who has got a nod from a master rule just due to the fact that she has a vision applicable ability which helps her in fighting off against Uma. She also got that Theodbrock sword, but it's weird that he did mention that she knows Juice, I guess to say. I don't know if this is another Juice lie. We always knew that Juice was a mysterious woman. I'm gonna try to put this one past her, though. Sorry I'm rambling and haphazardly talking through this chapter. As I said, with this thing, I actually need to just, like, go sit down and rest. So, just trying to get through this quickly and freely, have a little bit of fun before, we really get into the nitty-gritty as the Undead Unluck anime and the grind continues. But, let's get back to it. Fuko, hard-boiled woman, really impressed to see that she's able to fight off against the Master Rule, as the Master Rule even said, without any sort of restrictive type ability, without any sort of eye-procking type ability that could usually, like, really help her out and assist her in this fight. She was able to hold off this thing until the rest of the Union pulls up. Our boy Void Volks, the strongest frontline force of the Union right now, is able to hit this boy Sick with an unavoidable fist straight to the domeski. And that probably hurt. And Fuko Izumo says the only difference between her and Juice, because Juice is one of the strongest forces in the Union. Can't wait to see the Undead Unluck anime truly show that, embellish that fact, especially during that Victor fight. But right now, what she has done differently than Juice is build and begin to develop the ultimate Union, and god dang it, this might really be one of my favorite panels in Undead Unluck. The Avengers assembling, the Straw Hats all meeting back up together again. It doesn't get better than a panel like this. The feelings that you have looking through all of it and the developments that you even see during it are amazing as well. You'll see that Tella has his communication equipment back on. This is actually going to help him out in talking, hopefully, as he was able to last loop. You'll see that Ichiko Namuri is also riding on Psychopod balls, just like Nico always uses. And probably the biggest one yet, our boy Creed is now decked out in the same type of suit as Void Volks, except Creed's suit is going to focus on projectiles and shooting out weaponry, as obviously Undecrease's ability is centered around, letting that bitch unload. That is so badass, and we'd even predicted this. I'm not even gonna lie. We predicted this. I don't know if I said it on the YouTube, but if you're in the Discord, you would have had this conversation with us. We thought, how cool would it be if our boy Creed also gets one of these suits similar to Void? Here it is, a very badass development, and I really wonder what this entire fight's going to look like with Sick. We are inside of a hospital. Can't really go too crazy unless we get outside of it, really open up the scenery, open up this fight, and I just can't wait to see it. Obviously, next week I'm going to be covering the chapter way more in depth. I may even come with like my character exploratory video talking about Rip, Layla, and Latla during this week, but I might just talk about the anime, some stuff during that. Some stuff about that. Depends on when I get time. If I have time. I have time. But need to get this mother truck arrested so I can, happily and easily do other stuff. So I'll see you truckers. As I said, this one will be like not edited at all. My apologies, lo siento, mi amigos. Pero hasta luego.